This is Valley News Live at 10.
The long struggle has ended for the Fargo School District and its teachers union. The two sides have reached an agreement on teacher contracts.
Valley News Team's Katie Opperly joins us now with details. Katie.
Mike, Andrea, after months of negotiations, an impasse, and coming very close to the district issuing unilateral contracts, the two sides agreed on terms for a 2-year deal. For this school year, teachers will see a 1.5% salary increase. The second year, a 1.25% increase, plus a calendar day will be dropped, meaning teachers will go from a 191-day calendar to a 190. Lead negotiator for the district and vice president of the school board, John Rodenbiker, says the change in the calendar year will not impact student contact time. Afterwards, both sides described it as a monumentous step forward as they learn to work together to do what's best for Fargo schools.
We have been optimistic all week since the board decided to come back, and so this just really elevates our status and movement and energy that our teachers are seen as valued, and they're actually caring about what the staff feel.
It's really important that we have a good, strong contract for our teachers so that they feel that they're valued, so that they're protected in the workplace, so that they're fairly compensated, so that we are and remain an employer of choice for the great teachers that we have here, so that we're bringing the best in, that we're keeping the great ones that we have here.
Officially, the contract will be voted on and must be approved by the teachers, which is a formality. The pay increase for this year will be retroactive to the beginning of the school year, meaning that a starting teacher in the Fargo School District will be paid a little over $42,000 a year. Andrea?
All right, thanks, Katie. Teachers hope to have the contract ratified by February 11th. The board must also approve the agreement.
We are expecting results any minute from Iowa's caucusing. We're being told that the numbers are slow in coming because they want to get it right.
CBS News is expecting a four-way race between Joe Biden, Senator Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, and Senator Elizabeth Warren. Natalie Brand is in Des Moines with the latest.
At Lincoln High School's gym in Des Moines, supporters of the candidates set up while registered Democrats filed in. At 7 p.m. local time, the caucusing began.
Everyone fill out side one of your preference card.
Participants listened and lobbied, some trying to get their neighbors to support their candidate.
Call out wherever your members are located.
The scene played out across Iowa with what's expected to be a record number of caucus goers. Amy Luke started out supporting Andrew Yang and ended up going with Pete Buttigieg.
It was like we were in the middle, and I felt like we were in a piranha tank, and everyone saw that we were up for grabs, and people are cheering and trying to get us to come, and we were not expecting that.
Candidates can also advocate for themselves in a caucus.
That is the march that we are on.
Senator Amy Klobuchar was in the city of Johnston. Senator Elizabeth Warren was in Des Moines. The senators running missed out on prime campaigning opportunities while serving as jurors in President Trump's impeachment trial.
We went back and forth to Washington a number of times, and I felt it was really important to be there.
While Iowa has only 41 delegates, this is a contest for national attention and momentum for primary season. And historically, Iowa Democrats have a good track record of picking the eventual party nominee.
CBS News entrance polling finds the most important issue for caucus goers is health care. More than 60% say they want someone who can beat President Trump, and about a third of them are attending a caucus for the first time ever. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Des Moines.
As expected, President Donald Trump is the winner of the 2020 Iowa Republican caucuses, a largely symbolic vote as he was facing no significant opposition.
A lawsuit has been filed surrounding the death of a man in the Barnes County Correctional Facility. 25-year-old Lonnie Bradley committed suicide in October of 2018 after he was arrested on terrorizing and resisting arrest charges. His family is suing, saying it was known that Bradley was suicidal. Documents say Bradley openly discussed thoughts of killing himself on September 16th and that Bradley tried to commit suicide the next day. The state's attorney says that at the time, Bradley was taken to the state hospital, that he received treatment for 10 days and then was cleared to return to the jail on September 27th. Bradley committed suicide on October 5th in the same manner he had attempted previously. Officials say Bradley was under increased observation at the time of his death. The lawsuit claims Bradley's death was preventable if proper policies were followed.
A Minnesota medical board has disciplined the doctor who treated Prince for prescribing pain medication for the pop megastar in another person's name. Dr. Michael Schulenberg was reprimanded and ordered to pay a civil penalty of over $4,600. The board did not name Prince, but he was identified as patient number 1 and his longtime friend, Kirk Johnson, as patient number 2. Schulenberg initially told the board he didn't know painkillers he prescribed for Johnson were intended for Prince, but his story changed last August. Prince died of an accidental fentanyl overdose in 2016. No one was criminally charged in his death.
A Minnesota parent sent us video of her daughter getting into a fight with several other people. We're not airing the entire clip because of the violence it depicts. The incident happened last week at a Minnesota school in Bemidji. An expert we spoke with says parents should teach their kids to pause and take a breath before doing anything rash. If your child finds themselves in such a situation, they should try to avoid it by walking away, despite what their peers may say.
I think it's really important, no matter what, that if you're witnessing a situation, that you try to intervene in some way that is safe.
Experts also say parents should encourage their children to be proactive in getting a teacher's attention.
There are changes at the top of Altru Hospital. Its board of directors announced that the CEO and the CFO are leaving the organization. Craig Farber, the interim chief financial officer, will join the executive team, led by President Dr. Stephen Weiser, who will assume all leadership responsibilities.
McKenzie County in northwestern part of North Dakota is set to start using drones in May to monitor roads after storms. The Grand Forks-based company iSight will establish an office in Watford City with 2 pilots and 2 assistants.
Yeah, it helps with driver safety, and it also informs the oil field which roads are closed, which roads they can use. The county will also be using these drones they can fly over gravel piles, scoria piles. They'll be able to tell us exactly how many yards that we have in pits.
The company expects to operate drones beyond line of sight by 2021.
The world's only oil drilling simulator is coming to UND. Staff say the $40 million experimental drilling and completion lab will allow students and the industry to research drilling, test rocks, and simulate oil reservoir conditions, such as temperature, pressure, and fluid flow. It joins 10 other hands-on drilling labs at UND and will be housed in the former Minn Kota power plant in Grand Forks.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
All right, we have cold air on the doorstep. It's not the Arctic stuff. Arctic air masses come from north of the Arctic Circle. Notice that here by the deep pinks and even the dark grayish tones up there. For us, we have a polar air mass. It's going to take the place of this milder air we've had the last day or so, for sure, over the weekend. It's going to be short-lived. It's going to be swept out of here, but then it will return as we head into the late week on Friday. After that, well, it looks like we warm up and keeping most of that Arctic and polar air up to the north just a little bit. But snow is in the forecast as we go into and through next week. I'll have much more on that here in a minute. Right now, it's cold out there, 5 degrees on the thermometer, and it feels like 4 below zero thanks to just a 5-mile-per-hour wind from the west. Temperatures up in northeast North Dakota have been wobbling and bobbling around. 8 below last hour in Langdon, now 1 above, 4 below in Grand Forks, 2 below zero this hour in Thief River Falls. Wahpeton and Gwinner at 10 with Jamestown this hour at 13 degrees. This is the change from 24 hours ago. And notice where the coldest core of air is moving right into Grand Forks' kitchen. 31 degrees colder tonight than last night at this time. Clear skies, well, they're part of the issue here with cooling off quickly. We did have a stream of cloud cover here in the Southern Valley through much of the day as the storm system exits to the southeast, taking the clouds with it. Another significant storm is brewing in the southern plains that's going to bring some measurable snow to places like Oklahoma City, not far from Dallas, and all the way up towards Tulsa and Missouri. For us, Here's what we need to be concerned about tonight. No computer model handling how cold we've dipped off here in the early evening hours. So as we go through the overnight hours where you see these pinks, mainly along and north of Highway 200, Hutch thinks 5 to 15 below for start your day temperatures. It's going to be pretty chilly. Down in the southern half of the viewing area, south of Highway 200, 5 below to 5 above. So all in all, it'll be clear. That'll allow the sun to shine in the morning. And we won't have a lot of wind, but it won't take much with those near zero or sub-zero temperatures to have wind chills at the bus stop near 20 to 25 below for some of you. Now, by the midday hour, temperatures warming up, but only modestly so. We'll see some teens in our southern and southwestern counties, but to the north and to the east, we'll stay in those single digits throughout the day. One thing we will notice is a shift in wind direction. Most of the day, it'll be out of that chilly north, ushering in that polar air mass. But as we go through the afternoon and particularly into the overnight hours, we'll start to see a southerly wind take hold, and those southerly winds will warm temperatures through the overnight. So while it will be cold on Tuesday evening, by Wednesday morning, things will warm up. More on that snow in just a moment, but right now for tomorrow, single-digit readings near or just above zero here in Fargo. Sunshine aplenty. Light wind that will become southwesterly late. We're only going to peak in those teens, so it's going to be crisp. We'll fall off sharply in the early evening hours to near zero once again, but I do believe by Wednesday we start a rebound. Temperatures coolest in northwest Minnesota, single digits there, 10 Bemidji, 10 also in Fergus Falls. How about 15 for you in Jamestown? On the lake, ice fishing, you got to be careful no matter what lake you're on out there, as we say, but there's a great picture uploaded by Peyton. Thanks for taking the time to do so. Planning forecast. Warming up on Wednesday and into Wednesday. Then, as we close out the work week, there is a reasonable chance of some light, very light snow showers. Cold again on Friday, as we talked about, then 20s through the weekend into early next week, but it's what's going to happen in the middle of next week that has Hutch's attention. Take a look at this. Wednesday night into Thursday, American Model says splat. Big time snow system making its way through with wind into the northern plains. This is a long ways out. A lot could change, but 2 extended range models are showing this, so your storm team will keep our eyes on this if it does indeed take place. It looks like Wednesday into Thursday with wind and measurable snow, mainly in our southern counties.
Sounds like exactly what we don't need.
Yeah, I after this weekend, I really don't need it.
Yeah, thanks, Hutch.
Yeah.
Up next on Valley News Live 10 at 10, Democrats make a last-ditch plea to the U.S. Senate, urging lawmakers to convict President Trump in his impeachment trial.